For the 200th anniversary of Frankenstein, there's a lot of kind of cool Frankenstein things happening. One of the first I was notified of is the new annotated Frankenstein, edited with foreword and notes by Leslie S. Klinger. And this is a gorgeous hardback book that this is not a video for, so I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want you to get a sense of this is kind of some of the cooler things going on. So the footnotes here are voluminous. Sometimes they go from page to page, but then beautiful pictures and just a really nice kind of finish to the whole dang thing. So I'm excited to dig into this, but this video is about a much more expensive. One more thing about this is that I think so I only know of two other substantially annotated editions. This one, I believe, I want to say from 1993 with Leonard Wolf. He did a bunch of these, like for Frankenstein, for Dracula, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Am I right? Yes, first printing October 1993. Why do I know these things? Anyhow, so there was this for years, and I marked this up over time and for reasons I'll not get into. But so yeah, when I was hipped by a professor who knows of my interest in Frankenstein, to this new edition, I got it immediately and have been really enjoying it. I believe there's one that came out maybe 2004 or so that I don't have. And actually one of the things about this book that I like, that I think a lot of, is a published bibliography. So I can fill out my collection. But certainly probably the most rare, definitely the most rare of all of these books is in this box. So let's take a look here. So they shipped, it ships from Europe. I believe there's some French there on the label. It's very nicely insulated here. Oh my goodness. Whoa, it's heavy. Oh yeah, that, yes indeed. Oh, that's pretty. Let's get this out of the way. Wow, I'm not sure how heavy, but it's heavy. You can, I don't know, I can't see my arm straining there. But, so SP Books, the Manuscript of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So, I'm going to slide this guy out. It's kind of a, so you can see there, the stitching kind of outline, you know, obviously it's supposed to be like sutures. Wow, so, again, beautiful, heavy, you know, not a lot of, it's a manuscript, you know, it's the written manuscript, so there's not a lot of like publisher information, which is, it's pretty cool. Just her signature there on the back. Sorry about all the mic rustling. I was trying to find the best solution for this. There you go. All right, let's crack her open. So this one, while the annotated Frankenstein has a beautiful kind of green pallor, this one is a little bit of like a, you know, I don't know, a muted blue, muted navy blue. So SP Books. So this is, oh, there it is, okay. This book bears the number 328. Authenticate your copy, all right. Find out other editions. There's some other names of, I think, authors whose manuscripts they published. Mary Shelley's being the second there, after F. Scott Fitzgerald, and right before Lewis Carroll. So this page actually kind of comes out. I'll put it carefully off to the side here. And there's the limited edition to 1,000 copies printed, and my number 328. In editor's note. So there's a little bit of context about Frankenstein. First, starting with, quote, "We will each write a ghost story," said Lord Byron one stormy night in the summer of 1816. Very familiar to all Frankenstein fans, and there we go. Whoa. So it's, wow. this looks incredible. You know, you don't see. I have a book. I have it's a Joy Division book for the journals of Ian Curtis, and in that book, you know, you can see. You see the edges of the pages. It's certainly a very cool, you know, volume, and really nice to be able to see that information. But what's really great about this is, sorry, kind of, you can see there's certainly no edges of what the pages might be. So in terms of like pages it would have been scanned from or taken from, you know, it looks as though it was scrawled on this page. And there's a little drawing there of trees. You know, certain things scratched out. There's even some mathematical notations of some sort there. I wish I could find some sort of notable passage, but I'm not very familiar with this. Well, I mean, I remember this. It is with difficulty that I remember the era of my being. That's how all the events of that period appear confused and indistinct. So that's when the creature starts to relay his story to Victor. I wonder if we can find that, you know, What a Dreary Night, November, beginning in chapter 5. Yeah, there it is. This is calling it chapter 7. Looks like in her hand-numbered pages, page 75 here. It was on a dreary night of November that I beheld my man completed. Oh, that's interesting. With an anxiety almost amounting to agony, I collected instruments of life around me. A bunch of things scratched out might infuse a spark of being into the lifeless thing that lay at my feet. So you can, it was already 1 a.m, and the rain pattered dismally against the window pane. My candle was nearly burnt out when by the glimmer of the extinguished light, I saw the dull yellow eye of the creature open. It breathed hard, and a convulsive motion agitated its limbs. So obviously that's one of the most familiar passages in all of English literature, and it's pretty much intact from what is ultimately printed in 1818 and then again in 1831 in the revised edition. And then we'll fast forward here. So these first pages especially, I delighted in interesting facts. It's really difficult to necessarily, I mean, it does not start, for instance, with like the framing device of Walton's expedition encountering Victor. 5 years. Chapter. When I had attained the age of 17, I resolved that I should go to University of Ingolstadt. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's only from Victor's perspective. Chapter 3, is that? What's interesting, I think this actually resembles a book that I pulled to look at before ordering this one that compares. Let me go grab that. But not to get too off track here, but another of the books that I had pulled from my stacks there that I hadn't actually gotten to since picking it up years ago is this called The Original Frankenstein. It is published by Vintage Classics in 2008, and it is edited by Charles E. Robinson, who I know it was definitely referenced in the new annotated Frankenstein that I picked up. But so this is the original 2-volume novel of the 1816 through 1817 from the Bodleian Library Manuscripts by Mary Wollstonecraft with Percy Bysshe Shelley. Now, so this is the so it's two new versions of Mary Shelley's earliest drafts and Percy's revised texts. So you can kind of see here, and this is all typed out, of course. In here, you'll notice chapter, it does correspond actually to what we were just looking at. Yeah, so here you can see chapter 7 also starts with, "It was on a dreary night of November that I beheld my man completed with an anxiety." So that is actually, and you can see here, in this one you can see the page kind of edges. But how that, and that is, page number 75 there. That's obviously what is reproduced in this. But of course you can see as, the edges of the page and the kind of hue changing, even though it's in grayscale from the text to what obviously is the paper. It's kind of nice how you can see the jagged edges there. But what will be interesting is that and there's another page. This looks to be the introduction. So I think I'm going to be having this in one hand and this in the other, so that what can't be, read clearly from this manuscript, I'll be able to see in print in that volume. So it's pretty exciting. So there you have it. I'm going to recommend 3 books to get the SP books if you've got, a pretty penny and you're a real diehard Frankenstein fanatic and collector like myself. If you just want to the text of that, I'm sure you could still find this 2008 paperback volume from from Vintage Classics, and then yeah. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. Thank you to SP Books for publishing this thing and making it available to people like myself. And happy 200th birthday to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.